Go ahead, Jacob.
I call this meeting to order at 11:02 a.m. I now pass the floor to our secretary, Layla Johnson, to conduct the roll call.
Okay. When I say your school and your name, just say present. Taylor Davis of Salem State University. Okay, Layla Johnson of Salem State University here. Jordan Moore of Salem State University.
Present.
Um, Jacob Taylor of Salem State University.
Present.
Jeremiah Washington of Forsyth Tech Community College. Trey has an excused absence. Jacob Burnett of School of the Arts.
Present.
Joella Clearly of Salem College.
Present.
Okay. Sky Sykes of Salem College.
Present.
And then Nanu also has an excused absence.
Mhm.
Okay. I give the floor back to Jacob.
Okay, so the third thing on the agenda is the approval of minutes. The minutes of the previous meeting have been distributed via email. Are there any corrections or additions to the minutes?
I guess not.
All right, so if there's no corrections, then the minutes are approved as distributed. Now on to general business.
So before you move, before you go to new business, you have to move it to new business and then have your team second it.
Okay, motion to approve the minutes.
Anybody?
I
We have a
motion
second
to
before.
approve minutes.
Second it, okay.
Okay, now for general business,
Wait, you gotta
item
move,
four,
you gotta motion again to move to general business, and then we go. I told you it's a little murky. It's not your fault.
motion, motion to move to general business.
So somebody has to second it.
I second that motion.
There you go.
Seconded.
So for item 4A is committee discussions. And do any of the committee members have any updates or items that they'd like to discuss? And I think actually we need to create those committees, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so is that something that you all want to do in person in the next meeting or
Wait, I have a quick question.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm not mistaken, wasn't governmental affairs Nanu?
Mm-mm. Unless I'm wrong.
I think.
Let me double check that. Who
No,
did I
that's
put?
correct.
Yeah,
Yes,
Jeremiah,
Jordan is correct.
Jordan
yeah,
is
Jeremiah
correct? Okay.
the
Yes.
historian.
So that's a mistake, and we'll change that. No, write that as a note for me, Layla. Do that, and then we'll make that change. Thank you for that. Okay, so Jacob, you talked about you just brought up the aspect of how we want to go about committee discussions or committees, assigning committees.
so is that something that everyone would want to do today or the next meeting, which I believe is next Friday, correct?
Well, based off tentatively, yes, next Friday, because we need to discuss that later today as well. So you can motion to vote based off if people want to do it today or for the next meeting.
Is there a motion to is there a motion to vote today on the committee discussions? Well, I'll make the motion. I'll make the motion for committee discussions for next Friday.
Okay. Somebody has a second.
Second that motion.
Okay.
All right. So our next item on the agenda is the non-discrimination ordinance opportunity. And so it says here that we'd like to get at least 20 videos of people in different locations in Winston, specifically the CAB members, either on their campuses or at work. And yeah. We will also like to get someone local to do a voiceover for the ad. Do we have any cab members studying acting or something similar who would be interested? So I do know that we have a few people on the board who go to School of the Arts, right?
Mhm.
Yes, so Trey is not here, but we would both probably definitely be up to do that. We've done a lot of social media things for our student government, and so we've made a lot of videos for that and had to act in those. So yeah, I would just have to talk to it with him.
And for that, I can give you all more information about like the deadline of when I would need people and things of that nature. Just to touch on a little bit about it, this was essentially sent in an email for the when we talked about the elected positions and everything, and there was a video in there as well as far as how the video will be compiled. And so you all can go back and look at that video to see how it can be compiled. But we can get you as far as the deadline on it. But this is just for us to communicate within our human relations department what the non-discrimination ordinance is and kind of the areas that it affects within Winston-Salem. So if you want to be a part of that opportunity, you would just let me know, and then either Amy or Eleanor, who are members of the Human Relations DEI department, will be in contact with you specifically. And so even if you want to know more information and talk to them about it beyond the information we've presented to you, just let me know and then we can get back to you as well. And so we'll put that in the email, but just keep that in mind. And when I get a deadline, I'll send that to you all. Any questions for me now about that from anybody? Okay. And Jacob, I with what you just said about you and Trey, when you talk to Trey, if you are interested, just let me know. Again, you all can do the voiceover, you all can be a part of it, just different options as well. And just because you're not a part of the School of the Arts doesn't mean you can't, serve in the aspect of a voiceover as well. We want different voices and different diverse collectives to be a part of this opportunity to show what the city of Winston-Salem is all about. All right, I'm moving it back to you, Jacob. So,
All right. So for item 4C are just the takeaways from the governor's mansion tour. And so last week we had the opportunity to visit the governor's mansion and other legislative buildings within Raleigh. So for those who couldn't attend, Colbert attached brochures detailing the history and significance of these locations. So with that being said, does anyone who attended the event have any reflections or takeaways that they'd like to share?
I think it was a really great trip. We got to somewhat bond with other members of CAB. It was some of our first time meeting in person, and it was a very informative trip. And I would love to do something similar again in the future.
Thank you. So,
anybody? Go
oh,
ahead.
you,
Go ahead.
okay, so
Oh,
you okay?
Sky, go ahead, talk. Yeah.
I was gonna say something that stuck out to me was just the amount of Black history that we were able to see on the tour and how they expressed how like the country was built off of Black history. And I know a few years ago something like that wouldn't have been possible to see. So it was just a nice thing to see here and the progress that we're making.
And let me go and show it. Can you all see my screen still? Do you see a picture? So these are some of the pictures that were taken. And if you all have like personal pictures that you all took, you can send it to Tabitha and I, we can collect it as well. So these are some of the pictures that we're taking as far as, and I'm gonna go through a lot of them, as far as the trip and things of that nature. And it's even as you see in this trip on the bottom left, you'll see, I believe that's Taylor right there and Jordan. And I think that's Jacob right in front of Jordan. Sometimes when we went on tours, we had a guide discussing like the significance of things that happened at the tour, and we went to 3 different locations. This is a collective picture of all the CAB members and the YAC members who attended the event as well. This is a picture that we took. Oops, let me go back. This is one of the tour guides when it came to the Capitol building, who was just giving us an overview about, the significance of certain people who made North Carolina what it is today. This is just the steps of like the first building we went to, which is the legislative building. So it's the House of Representatives and the Senate where they meet. And I thought that was a cool red carpet. As you see people walking even downstairs, but we are upstairs just listening. And if you see the person on the left, this was our tour guide as well, as far as just communicating what certain things mean and the significance. This was the building for the House of Representatives. And so the tour guide was just discussing what that would look like. And as you see here, this is where she was just talking with the students, both the CAB and YAC members, about what it looked like. Again, this building was the Senate building. And so we went to the Senate building as well to see. These are some bloopers of us trying to take pictures. As you all see, I'm a big fan of bloopers. And so this is just Bob in the middle trying to get everybody to, as far as getting ordered and take a picture. And this is just collective pictures that we had of everybody within the tour. And so this was all the CAB students that went. And then we have some pictures of the YAC students as well. But this is just a reflection of what happened during the trip, and opportunities that I want to say that not only can you look forward to, but opportunities that we're trying to continue to give you all. And so these are things that we're collecting as far as data points for us. And so that when it comes to getting funding and just showing people what we're doing, we could continue to do these things. And so if you all have like any other suggestions of things that you want to see or things that you want to be a part of, please feel free to share those opportunities with us, because we want to make sure that you all are getting the most out of this opportunity.
And Colbert, I would like to add that if any of the students know of any grant opportunities that may help us be able to do these things, that would be great. We look forward to those kind of suggestions.
Mr. Colbert, did you send these pictures out?
I couldn't, and that's why I was showing it here. So because of, I think the files are too big, I was trying to initially send them out, but Outlook wouldn't let me. And so I'll try to figure out a different way to like bypass the system in a way, but I literally was trying to, and it wasn't allowing me to last week.
Colbert, let me add something, if I may. Good morning, everyone. And just to kind of piggyback on what Colbert and also Tabitha just mentioned about grant funds and those sort of resources. Also, I would like to say, if you by chance know of any of our city council members who could actually partner with us or want to take a special interest in the college advisory board and actually help to support us by tapping into their resources, right? To help CAB with some of the financial funding. As you all are aware, those who were a part of our YAC, you all are aware that we do have a council member who works pretty closely with Erica to help support YAC financially. So as I shared with Colbert the other day, if we know of any city council members who want to serve in that capacity for CAB, please reach out to them, let Colbert know, so that we could really establish that relationship with him or her or they. Thanks.
Does Jacob, I'm gonna hand it to you for you to direct it from here on out. So after I send them the pictures.
And Colbert, we do have like little the zip drive thingies that we can give them. So maybe what we could do would like put all the pictures on those and pass out to them that way.
Okay. We can discuss that and figure out that then. Yep, I'm perfectly fine with that. Okay, Jacob, I'm moving it right back to you.
All right, so it seems like the next item on the agenda is staff reminders and information, which I think leads me to give the floor back to you guys, right?
Well, no, to you. So you'll
Okay.
discuss, yeah, what this looks like, and then open the floor for a discussion about how we want to go about this. And then I can like input based off information I've received from you all.
Okay, so our regular meetings will continue on the second Monday of each month based on schedules sent to Colbert. Fridays between 1:30 and 3 o'clock seems to work best for the majority. So, yeah. Next item on the agenda is upcoming events and topics.
Hold on. So we need to discuss um as far as the Friday meetings, when we want those Friday meetings, just like we have these Monday meetings. So let's
Okay.
open the floor for a discussion as far as the schedules and when you all want them. And then, yeah, and then let's vote on it today.
All right.
So before you all,
And just to,
go ahead, Tabitha.
I'm sorry, just to note that those Fridays will be in person.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Again, based off your schedules, the majority of the time that people can be there is between 1:30 and 3 on Fridays. Now, we can discuss if we want to change that from a Friday to another day of the week. We can discuss changing the time as well. So we want to open the floor for everybody to discuss like what is, your preference based off your availability, and then vote on something today so that we have it solidified and we can send those email reminders next week.
I know for me on Fridays, 1:30 to 3, I have class and work in that time. So like I get off work at 1, then I go to class at 2.
Mhm.
So anytime after 3, if anybody has that time available, because the other date that I would have would be a Tuesday, but I know a lot of people will be busy on Tuesday. However, if we were to do the Fridays and kept it at 1:30 to 3 to fit the majority, I was wondering if I would be able to have like an exemption from that, not necessarily like an excused absence, because I know we have so many absences that we can have, but maybe an exemption because I can't make a 1:30 to 3 on a Friday.
hmm And that's something that, as far as the exemption and the excuse absence, like you talked about, that's something that, yeah, you'll be granted based off your schedule. There's nothing you can do about that, and we want you to prioritize your well-being as far as school and work. And so, yes, you'll 100% be granted that. No, no exceptions. Yeah.
And Colbert, I think what we can do if the majority can fit in a certain time slot, we can also record that meeting as well and do it virtually for those that can't actually
hmm
get in person. We can record as we're in person as well, so they can, join that way.
Yes, so all meetings will be recorded, and I should have said this, but a hybrid option will always be available, because just because your schedule is available for those moments, maybe you need to be at home or in a different location while at the meeting. So a hybrid option, just like today, will always be available at those in-person meetings. So like I know that Jordan, you just discussed how like you have a little bit of window, but not enough of a window to be in person. So we can have that hybrid option available and you can join it and then leave it whenever you need to. Yeah. So it will always be hybrid as far as the in-person meeting. The priority would just be to be in person. And so one thing I'll add to, I said the best available times for you all based off your schedule is between 1:30 and 3. The meetings will last a minimum, or we'll schedule the meetings for a minimum of an hour. So therefore, you all could do it from 1:30 to 2:30 or 2 to 3 based off your schedules. And so we can discuss that as far as what is the preference as well. So, all right. So when it comes to voting or discussing it, Jacob, I'm gonna put that back to you.
All right. So are there any other suggestions besides the 1:30 to 3 o'clock time?
I might have one suggestion. So
I know like we're pretty busy like throughout the week with classes and work. Like the only reason I wouldn't be able to do like after 3 on Fridays is because I do have work around like 4 and that time frame is kind of like very, very, very like small for me because I work on the other side of Winston-Salem. And also, would it be possible if we could do it earlier on a Saturday as well? Like maybe like around like 10 or 11. I know we probably wouldn't be able to do it at the council, but maybe we could do it like at another place, like on campus somewhere, at a library, and we just book a room and have it there.
Dr. Christian, as far as doing anything on the weekends, what is our capacity on that?
That would be left up to you all to decide. I would definitely, first and foremost, I would say go ahead and see what your votes are for Friday and time frame, and kind of go from there. So traditionally, these CAB meetings have been held during the week and kind of stay away from the weekend because of other obligations of staff. So I would say see what your vote is for Friday and move from there.
Okay, so are there any suggestions time-wise for Friday other than 1:30 to 3? Okay, if not, then do you all want to vote on Friday from 1:30 to 3?
So before we vote on that, remember you all don't have to do the full hour and a half. It can be just a minimum of an hour. So you all can do 1:30 to 3, you can do 1:30 to 2:30, or you can do 2 to 3. So I just want to give you all those options. Again, I can be there from 1:30 to 3, but I understand that that may be too much. And so we can do the whole hour and a half. We can do, it has to be a minimum of an hour. So we have 3 options that we can do, just FYI. And if you all don't prefer like a certain time frame or you want to do more, say it now as well so that we have an understanding of what everybody's preferences are.
Personally, I like the 1:30 to 2:30 time just because I have to be back on campus by 3. Well, 2:40.
Okay.
I have a question. So for the 1:30 to 3 o'clock time, is that to give us flexibility to place that hour wherever we would?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yes. So anywhere between one, that's why I said it could be from 1:30 to 2:30. It can be from 2 to 3. And if you all want to do a 1:30 to 3, you all, based off schedules, that would be the preference. And so you all don't have to do an hour and a half. The minimum is an hour. And so, yes, those 3 options are there for you all to vote on.
But should we pick a specific time for 1 hour for us all?
Yes, yes. Mhm.
Mhm.
And right now, the only suggestion we have is 1:30 to 2:30. So
Mhm.
we can, vote for that or pick another slot. But 1:30 to 2:30, based off everybody's schedules that we collected, is looking like the majority can make it.
Yeah.
I would also prefer 1:30 to 2:30.
Okay. So a suggestion I have, I like to just give options to everybody. So just in case somebody doesn't feel comfortable speaking, so we can vote a 1:30 to 2:30 block, 2 to 3, and 1:30 to 3, and the majority will rule on that. And so we have 3 different time options, majority rules. That would be my suggestion.
So far, we have 2 saying 1:30 to 2:30.
Yeah, we'll do a a public vote. And then Jacob would give those three options. And then I know spoke on this last time. There's a raise your hand feature on Zoom. And so when Jacob says a time frame, you just put your raise your hand feature and Layla will count how many hands are up.
So, so real quick, just a point of order. So right now you have two motions. Well, a motion, basically two motions.
Okay.
From 1:30 to 2:30.
Mm-hmm.
So at this point, that is the only motion that is to be voted on, unless
Okay.
another cab member comes in and says, "Oh, I want a time frame from 2 to 3."
Okay.
Right. Yeah. Just as a point of clarification.
Okay.
So is this something that we roll call vote on, or is that just okay? So I pass the floor over to our secretary for roll call vote, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Sky Sykes. Okay. Joella Clearly. Jacob Burnett. Jacob Taylor. Jordan Moore.
Aye.
Layla Johnson, aye. And then Taylor Davis. Okay, it's unanimous.
Perfect. Only thing I'll say is that I will coordinate with Jacob and Jordan to send that information out to y'all, but congrats, y'all. All right.
All right, so are we good to move to the next item on the agenda?
Okay.
All right. Our annual project in International Village. The International Village event, I think, is on October, what is it, 23rd, 25th?
26.
26th, October 26th. Okay. And I believe we need to sign up for that, correct?
Yes, and for that, Tabitha and I will get back to you all as far as the sign-up sheets, and so that will be in the email as far as time blocks to sign up. But just remember that we do need service hours from everybody, and so we strongly encourage you to show up, and you'll also be able to meet the team as well, and that will count towards your service hours for CAB.
And with that being said, Colbert, the ones that did get to come, those will be considered ours as well, right?
Yes.
All right. Are there any other topics or events that anyone else would like to bring up for future discussions? I believe, Jordan, didn't you have something that you want to propose?
Yeah, I would like to talk about the annual project. I think for this year, I will urge each and every one of you to meet, if you can, with your dean of students or someone of that nature to kind of get an idea of what they think your campus would need, like what could CAB, present to them, if that's okay with Dr. Christian, but or Dr. Ronnie. Let me see. So, my apologies. So, yeah, meet with your dean of students or someone of that nature, get an idea of what's needed on your campus, and be ready to. We'll discuss it at our next meeting, right? So, be ready to share ideas and brainstorm, because I really think we need to be on a strict schedule to kind of, accomplish things this year. And yeah, that's just my idea. I have a couple, but I'll share them next meeting. I met with Dr. Capel of my school, so yes.
All right. If there's no further business, then I move to adjourn the meeting.
Someone has to second.
I
If you're
second.
making a motion, if you're making a motion to adjourn, then someone has to properly second, and then of course, everyone has to.
Is there a second on the floor?
Jacob did.
I second.
Okay. All right.
So the motion has been made. It has been properly second. All of those in agreement should say aye and go through and adjourn it.
Aye.
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 Okay. Well, then the meeting is adjourned at 11:32. I appreciate you all's time. Let us know if you need anything, and just remember, we'll send out emails as well that the next meeting is next Friday at 1:30. All right. Well, thank you all. You all can get 28 minutes back of your time, and I hope you have a good Monday.
Thank you.
Bye, everybody.
All right, y'all.
Bye.